Good morning, Prep. Welcome to our CE Mojo. Are you ready to learn something new again today? Great. Let's start with our lesson for today. For our Bible verse, it is found in Psalm 118, verse 6. It says here, I will not be afraid because God is my helper. Psalm 118, verse 6. Can you recite with me? Psalm 118, verse 6. I will not be afraid because God is my helper. Psalm 118, verse 6. Okay, so it says there in our verse for today, that God is always there to help us. He will be the one will help us in the things that we do every day. So, diba? Sometimes there will be instances that you will be doing something for the first time and you don't know how to do it. So there is a tendency that you'll feel bad or afraid. But God reminds us that He is there. He will be always there to help us and guide us. That's why for our principle, Faithians rely on God's help. As we know that God is our helper, we must rely or depend on His help alone. For our aim, today we will learn about how God helped Gideon and the Israelites. So we will learn how God helped Gideon and the Israelites. Okay? So before we start our lesson, please get the torch that I have asked you to make last Tuesday. We will use that in our story. Please get your torch that you have made last Tuesday. Okay. For our lesson today, we are in lesson 2 already, and the title is God Helps Me Every Day. God helps me every day. Can you think what are the things that you do every day? So every day you go to school. Oh, except for Sunday and Saturdays, you go to school, you do your sit works, your homeworks, and what else? Yeah, okay. So there are a lot of things that we do every day. So today in our lesson, it will help us be reminded that God helps us every day through the story of Gideon. This is Gideon, and him, together with the Israelites, are in trouble. There was a group of people called the Midianites, and they were getting their food and making the Israelites their slaves. So there is a group called Midianites, and then they are getting the food of the Israelites, and they are also making them as their slaves. These Midianites had a strong army with many weapons. It looked like it was impossible for the Israelites to defeat the Midianites, but God knew how to take care of the problem. God asked a man named Gideon to fight for him. At first, Gideon was not too keen with the idea. Can you look at his face? Does he look that he's agreeing with God? It's like he's doubtful, right? Because the Midianites has so many weapons, and the Israelites, they don't have that kind of weapons, and they are many. He felt that he could not do it alone and that he was not that very strong. He could not fight a big army. So see, look at how doubtful and worried his face is. But he forgot something. God never asks us to do a work that he won't help us with. So again, he reminded himself that whatever work that God asks them to do, he is assured that God will help them. God told Gideon, I will be with you and you shall quickly destroy the Midianites. Finally, Gideon obeyed the Lord and did God's work by leading an army for God. So here are the people or the men of Gideon. These are the Israelites. But you know, from thousands and thousands of Israelites, God told Gideon to choose only 300 men. God said that Gideon must just choose 300 men to be in his army. Then Gideon gave them their weapons. Can you guess what weapon did they make or did they use? So instead of using swords and shields as their weapons, just like a normal soldier would have, Gideon and his men each carried a trumpet and a light or torch covered by clay jar so that the Midianites would not see them coming. So this is the trumpet. So you may notice that this is not the kind of trumpet that we have today. So ito yung mga sinaunang trumpet. And then there was also a torch. So this torch will be put inside this clay jar. Okay, so ito yung trumpet. Okay, this is the trumpet. And then the torch and the clay jar. Okay? If you may notice, wala silang parang deadly weapon, wala silang spears, wala silang swords, wala rin silang shield. So very kind of unusual, 'di ba? Na pupunta ka sa battle and wala kang shield. But they are assured that God will help them and God will be their shield. And so, the Israelites prepared for their battle with the Midianites. So here they are getting the clay jar and the trumpet and the torch. Late at night, just after midnight, Gideon and his men crept quietly down to the edge of the enemy. Upon his signal, they all blew their trumpets so loud and smashed the clay jars so their torches shone brightly. So nakita nyo, ito yung clay jar. Pinasag nila yung clay jar na dala nila para makita yung torch na dala-dala nila. And then, they all shouted loudly, "For the Lord and for Gideon! For the Lord and for Gideon!" Okay, can you join them? Get also your torches and then shout, "For the Lord and for Gideon! For the Lord and for Gideon!" So see, they went to the place of the Midianites. Pinalibutan nila yung Midianites. These are the Midianites. Tapos nandun sila sa taas. And then, they were just 300 men. Pero yung Midianites sobrang dami. And then they didn't even bring a deadly weapon. But what happened? The Midianite army They got so frightened with the sound that when they woke up because of shouting and bright lights, they got so confused and they began fighting each other. Then they all ran away into the night. So akala nila sobrang dami ng mga Israelites kasi ito sila yan na pinalibutan nila yung mga Midianites, and just because with the trumpet and the light, they thought that sobrang dami ng pumapalibot sa kanila, nag-reflect kasi dun sa ilaw. Pero they didn't know that it was just 300 men. So anong nangyari? Nagkagulo-gulo sila. They fought with themselves. They fought with each other and they got very frightened. Nataranta sila kaya yung iba din sa kanila naglaban-laban ng sarili nila. So they fought Midianite against the Midianite. Somewhat kind of comedy, right? Kasi very unusual yung story ni Gideon. Pero we can see here that with God nothing is really impossible. Imagine you will go to a battle with no sword, no shield, and you will just go with a light and a torch and also a trumpet. It's like get or going to a mall and then you don't have money. Parang ganun, you will go to the grocery. So what you do in the grocery, di ba? Pupunta tayo sa grocery, we will buy some food. But parang if to pattern it or to symbolize it, pupunta ka ng grocery tapos wala kang dalang pera, which is which is not right as we may see it. Pero see what God did, he made everything possible. So when Gideon obeyed God, God helped him to do his work and the enemy was defeated. Okay? So after Gideon obeyed God, the enemy or the Midianites, they were defeated. Okay, interesting story, right? Okay, so Gideon, he was once doubtful and worried about what will happen with their battle with the Midianites, but he reminded himself that whatever work or if there is a work that God tells us to do, he will always be there to help us. He will always get us through it. Okay? God knows everything. That's why he knows our capacity. He knows our strengths and weaknesses. That's why we must always ask for God's help. We are limited people. Hindi natin kaya lahat. Especially you as your age, right? Marami pa kayong hindi kayang gawin. Can you fight with a group of army? For example, you will be fighting with the Midianites. Can you do it alone? Not right. You can't do it alone. Even teacher, I cannot fight with the Midianites alone. But you know what? God is there to always help us, and everything that we will do, even though not fighting with the Midianite, for example, with just doing your assignments, doing your homework, and also teacher doing my work, because sometimes there's a pile and pile of works, but if for my own strength, I will not be able to do it. So I ask God's help, and I am reminding myself that I will be doing this for the Lord, and so that I will give him the glory. And also he will bless me with wisdom, with love, with patience, and with the strength that I need. Okay? I hope you enjoyed our story and learned something from it, from the story of Gideon and how God helped Gideon. For your classwork, finish pages 105 to 107 on your CE book. And then take a picture and pose like an Israelite army with the torch that you made last Tuesday. Okay, so I will be also able to see what torch you did or how did you make your torch. Okay, take a picture and post like an Israelite army with the torch that you made last Tuesday. Show me how did you do. No, show me the product. Show me the craft that you did last Tuesday, and also answer your book pages 105 to 107. Okay, so that is it for today. I hope you learned something and enjoyed our story. Enjoyed the story from the Bible. Okay, I'll see you again next modular. Goodbye, prep. God bless you.